So I'm just kind of sitting on my hands here to see what the market does. The IWM is bouncing pretty close to the 15. The SPY is trying to bounce right off. It's pretty close to the 8 right now. Again, the 8 was on the SPY. The 8 is 604.15. 604.15. So about a buck. Still got a buck. We get down pretty close to the low. It get down to 604.61. So relatively close. What would be considered touching the 8, and it's bouncing. The Q, of course, has no support below right now. So it's just kind of bouncing with the rest of the market. So again, just watching here for any kind of an opportunity to get short if we go up and touch the 15 and turn around and head down. Like Tesla here again. I got Tesla. I took Tesla long on a breakout. It's failed. See, it came back and touched this level right here, which is another support level. So again, I'm kind of trapped in this thing right now. So I'm not gonna dump it because it's holding the support right here. So I'm just gonna see what happens the next day or two in Tesla. I took INOD as well on a nice little breakout. See what it's done. It broke out. Was a nice breakout. Now it's pulled back. But the market, it's weak. It's right to the 8, but that's okay. And I got January on these, so I'm just going to sit on them. Got some YouTube folks watching today. Welcome, YouTube. To the room here. We're trading the SPY super system. This is the compass of the SPY super system right here, telling us this is current time frame momentum, multi-time frame momentum. These are very critical for trading stocks to let us know if the institutions are in the trade or not. You can see right now they're pretty much selling. That's the Qs right there on the 5-minute chart. There's the IWM on the 5-minute chart. And there's a SPY. Again, we take SPY super system trades in this off the 5-minute candles, but right now they're not. They're all extended. We use the VWAP and the 15 EMA as our support and resistance levels. So if you were going to go short, you'd wait for the SPY to go up to the 15 or the VWAP, turn around, head start, confirm that it's heading back down again. Again, I took 2 trades in the IWM today. I took a long here and took a loss as it turned around and head back down again. And then I get in short here. It broke below the 15 and wrote it down and took profits on this one. Pretty choppy day. Not choppy, but pretty bearish day in the market right now. Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Thomas. Kylo. Welcome. Again, fairly bearish day right now in the market. Apple's been outperforming pretty strongly here today. Very, very good relative strength in Apple. Microsoft too actually looks pretty decent on the long side. Solar stocks are up pretty nicely this morning. Oil stocks are up okay. They've been taking such a beating lately on oil. But Oxy's bounced up this morning. ExxonMobil's bounced up a little bit. Bitcoin stocks are down hard this morning. Coin's down about 24 bucks, about 7%. Right down to the 8 exponential moving average on coin. Here's the coin setup right here. Bounced up, we got above that resistance level on Friday. Now it's pulled back down right to the 8 and bouncing off of it. Again, Bitcoin stocks are very, very volatile and very news driven. So those are always riskier trades. So I'm just kind of watching again the cues that don't really have any real nearby support level below them. The SPY and the IWM do. So trading the SPY and the IWM, you've got to be very aware of where the 15 is and where the 8 exponential moving average is. SPY came right down to the 8 just about, and is trying to bounce off of it. Right, so it just got a little bit of a nub down there. And the IWM also went right down to the 15 and bounced off of it. So we get some support there. Now the Qs don't really have any nearby support. They'd have to bounce all the way down here to the 8, basically, which is basically the top bottom of that candle. So they have a little more room to the downside to take it. So just be aware if you're taking any of these SPY super system trades that if you're going short on the Qs or the SPY, that they've got some support fairly close to where they are right now. So again, I just took 2 SPY super system trades today, one on IWM, or 2 of them, IWM long, which I lost money on, and then IWM short, which I made money on. I took this one here on this break that looked like a breakout, and it failed, so I got out, took a loss, and then I got in here as it broke below the 15. I took this short, and I took it off down here. I did take INOD long off the pop up here this morning. Had a nice gap up this morning. I took it long. This is it's a nice daily setup. It's pulled back pretty hard, as you can see, but the daily chart on this thing is pretty nice. If we look at it right here, you can see we're green and blue. This tells us that institutions are buying on the multi-time frame momentum, current time frame momentum, blue and green. They're buying here. You see it's breaking out of this compression, popped up, pulled back, but still this is a pretty nice setup for a long. And again, I took January calls in this. I gave myself plenty of time, but they're very expensive and the spreads are wide on them. So I'm not gonna post that one. But this one I took, and then I also took Tesla this morning, which was killing me right now. It's a nice breakout, but it pulled back pretty hard on the 5-minute chart. If you look at it, you're gonna see the nice break here, and then it's pulled right back down again. But again, I'm going to give it a little bit of time, because if I look at my TC2000 chart on Tesla, and I'll show you what I mean. Switch over to the daily here. All right, so let's take a look at Tesla. Here's Tesla. It broke out, which is what I was trading. I pulled right back, so it's a failed breakout, but it went down and touched support right here. That's a fairly strong support level, and now it's trying to bounce back up again. So I'll give it this thing can move a lot, so I'll give it a little bit of time. I took quick 50 cents an Apple. Yeah, that's really one of the strongest stocks today. You also took some Tesla off that support. Yeah, that's probably not bad off that support level right there. If I had any sense, I'd probably take some more calls on Tesla off of that 377 level. I might actually do that. gotta wait to judge how strong this bounce is off the SPY here. Remember, it bounced off right off the 8 pretty much, and the IWM is bouncing right off of the 15. So we want to watch these. We have a bearish trend right now. We want to see if this continues or if this becomes a bottom bounce where the markets head back up again. Too early to really make any judgments, at least for me. Coin starting to bounce a little bit now. Coin get down to 313.42. Now it's trading at 320. It just bounced $7. Crazy trade, crazy stock. I did take some more Tesla calls. A little bit risky, but I took some more Tesla calls with the same strike I took this morning. So they had gone down a lot. So I did average down on them, which is not necessarily a great thing to do, but I do like the fact that it bounced off of support. So I'm in some more Tesla calls. Again, don't know if the SPY is going to continue this bouncing up. Right now it's just creeped up above the 15. It's got the VWAP above. It's got a lot of resistance above, of course, on the 5-minute chart, but not much on the daily chart. The daily resistance would be the all-time high. But if you look at the SPY and you look at the 8 on this thing, you see how it went right down, almost touched it. Just like on the IWM, it almost touched the 15. It went getting it down and touched the 15. Now it's backed up above the 8 again. So these are pretty good bounces. We just have to wait to see if they're going to continue or not. But I'm not shorting anything until I see a bounce to the or test of the VWAP on the 15 and then a reversal back down again. But I'm very hesitant to do it on the SPY or the IWM because they just touched support this morning and bounced off of it. It's Tesla still riding along that pivot point, and INOD, which I get into, starting to bounce a little bit. Just watching here. One thing to notice on the SPY, by the way, this is the Fibonacci chart right here. This is Fibonacci candles. See this big pull down in the SPY, flat top, flat top. These are Fibonacci bearish candles. We just went to a Fibonacci reversal here to the bullish side. This is a bullish Fibonacci reversal right here, coming back up to the 8. If you look at Tesla, you also see a Fibonacci reversal right here. Not great follow through on it, but you see this is your bearish Fibonacci with the flat tops. The bullish Fibonacci have flat bottoms. You see this all these flat bottoms here on Tesla on Friday. says SPY with a Heikenaichi reversal, and IWM doing exactly the same thing, Heikenaichi reversal. Triple Qs, all same thing. Just so that's not how you use the Heikenaichi. I use it mostly on daily charts, but it does work on 5-minute charts as well. There's Tesla. Okay, just thought I'd point that out. Again, Tesla buy, I added to that. That was down a lot. So my price initially was about $16 a contract. I added at about $6. So so now I've got about $11 as a break even on Tesla. So I don't need a huge bounce to actually end up making money on this. Because if it turns around, heads back down, and breaks through resistance again, I take a bigger loss. Again, I'm not touching the SPYs or the Qs right now, or the IWM for any super system trade. So till we get more definition of what's going to happen. All right, see if we have any questions here. Carol, did I take a new? I mean, you didn't take a new long Tesla position in the last few minutes. I just added to it. I just added to Tesla. It's pulled back really hard, so I took and then bounced off support. So I added to it on that bounce off support. So I did add to the Tesla position I've got. Shai points out that Tesla just printed a bullish HA. Yeah, we just talked about that. Dan was saying T2104 looks bullish. Let me take a look at T2104. Yep. T2104 bullish today. Definitely bullish. William, INOD making a nice comeback. Yeah, I really like the setup. I really do. Again, the pullback was pretty hard this morning, but the SPY, the Qs, not the Qs, but the SPY went back to support at the 8, and the IWM went back to support at the 15, and they both bounced off of those. Whether we're going to get a continuation to the upside here or not, I don't know. But we did get Heikenaichi reversal candles on them, which is typically a good sign, but we'll see. And again, I did add to Tesla. I'm not recommending this for anybody because it's very expensive, and I'm down pretty hard on it right now, but I did add on support this morning, just now. On the daily chart, with the support was basically 377.37, and it went down to that, and it's bounced $5 off of there. And INOD starting to come back up again. Just right at the breakout level right now at INOD. So again, I'm very undecided about what the market's going to do. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get a decent bounce out of this right now or not. But we do have T2104 pretty bullishly, which is that's a cumulative volume index, which is pretty good. What is the position INOD that I've got, Isaac? Let me look at it. They was tough to get into these because the spread was so big in it on INOD. But let me tell you what I got. I know I took January 17th. $46 calls. January 17th, $46 calls. But see, right now they're spread 7 by 9, $7 by $9. 7 bid, 9 ask. That's really, really wide. But I did take the 46 calls for January. I don't even know what I paid for it. Let me look. Way more than that. Yeah, I paid $10 for them. So right now they're printing 8. So I'm down about $2 on it. But again, they're January setups, January calls, and I really like this the long setup on this. Is it worth adding to NOD if it can break above the VWAP? Well, I mean, I like this. I like the setup. Yeah. The thing is, you've got to be really careful on the bid ask on these things because they keep really getting wide. So you want to put a bid in, somewhere at a reasonable level. A reasonable level on this right now on INOD. Let's see. On the January 17th. They're trading at now they're trading 760 by 790 for the $46 calls. But again, they have not gone above the VWAP. So I would be looking at the $46 calls, and again, probably trying to get in somewhere. Right now, it's only 30 cents wide. It was $2 wide just a little bit ago. So try to get somewhere in the mid range in that thing. And you could switch to 45s also if you wanted to, because the delta's dropped on these things quite a bit. So anyway, 46, 45, 44, any of those calls would be good. And the 45s have the biggest volume right now. They've got 284 contracts gone up. But see, they're trading 630 by 840. There's $2.10 spread there. So, and now the ones that we just talked about, the 46, are trading 620 by 770. So you got to be really careful here, because they're spreading this back and forth really, really a lot. So in a case of the 46 calls right now, I think around $7, $7.20 would be a reasonable price for those. But you're going to have to bid on them because they're jumping around like crazy. Tesla's still moving sideways here. Triple Q's also not looking great. SPY couldn't quite get to the VWAP. So again, are we going to have a bearish day? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get a bounce or not. But we'll see. Right now I'm not adding anything. I did add to some Tesla, but that's it. And I'm not doing any SPY super system trades. Alright? Patience is a key here. Try not to force any trades. Hey Nick, new to the channel and watching a system on TOS. Question, is it possible to shrink the colored bars to make room to expand the price action on top? Yeah, I can't really. I've shrunk them about as much as I can. And I have limited ability with TOS to do much more on these. Yeah, this is what they they let me do in here. And I'm not. Listen. I don't trade on TOS. I'm not an expert on TOS. I use TOS because the Compass of the SPY Super System software runs on this, but I'm not an expert. Now I do have the actual momentum indicator on here, which I could probably take off, which would give us a little bit more room. But I kind of like to see it, because when I get a color change, I can also, not only do I get a color change, but I can see what kind of a slope I've got. The slope is also important, because this goes, when it goes to blue, it means it's come above the 20 level and is moving up, so it goes blue, and it goes green when it goes above the 80 level. But I can see how steep it is, and when it's, you see when it's printing, when it's red right here, it's staying red down at 0. So that gives me a little indication of how strong or weak the momentum change is. And again, this is a gear with the momentum included in it, but divergence stripped from it. So it's a pure momentum indicator, the best one I know of. And again, this tells us if the institutions, you can see they're buying on the 5 minute here right now on the IWM. Thinking getting TC2000, Jonathan. I use the gold. I like I don't think I need the platinum. I use gold. It gives me all of the information I need. You do have to pay for a data feed with that if you get TC2000. You do need a data feed, but it's the silver is the gold is what I use. And I'll tell you, one of the things you can do with TC2000 is you can actually on the scans that you do. I'll just show you a quick scan on TC2000 here. All right, if I look at the scan, what I can do is, one of the reasons people go to platinum is so that they can be running like 10 scans at once. But what I do is I set up a matrix, and I have the scan results for all the different scan things that I'm looking for. I got right across the top, and it creates checkboxes for those particular conditions. So I'm just running one scan, but I've got all of these scans actually within that one scan. They're showing me, this is showing me a volume surge on the daily chart, and this is showing me a volume surge on the 5 minute chart. So I've got a lot of things. This is showing me a PBO, a pullback on the daily chart. Any stocks that have a PBO in them. That's how I get around that. And again, it's taken me a long time to create that kind of that kind of information on TC2000. So it took me about 10 years to get it to work on the way it is. So to me, it's worth a lot. But yeah, I would say that take the gold and make sure you get a data feed. You got to pay for a data feed if you're gonna use it on a 5 minute basis. IWM still starting to move up here a little bit. Triple Qs, not so much. SPY, not so much. Remember at the beginning of the day today, the IWM was the strongest index, and then it became the weakest. It pulled back and filled the gap, and now it's bouncing back up again. As far as software, Jonathan, the TC2000 is I think is the best charting program out there, with a nice scanner, and this Compass system, or the SPY Super System that we've got here, that lets me know if institutions are in the trade or not. This is just such a great piece of software to let you know if institutions are in the trades or not, and that's basically what we're doing for high probability trades. And it allows me to do this SPY Super System off the IWM, the Qs, and the SPY. And that methodology has been unbelievably productive since July, since we started it. Last month I was 44 wins and 2 losses. Today I've got 1 win and 1 loss. So you're going to have some losses, but because you get in right at the VWAP or right at the 15, in other words, you're getting in very close to support and resistance, then you can take fairly small losses on these things. It has a profit factor. If you know what profit factor is, you take your winning dollar amounts and divide it by your losing dollar amounts per trade, And if you get one, if it's a 1 profit factor, that means you're breaking even. If you get a 2, you get a 2 to 1 risk reward. The profit factor, I just did this yesterday. The profit factor on the SPY super system since July is 6.08. Anything over 1 is profitable. Anything over 2 is great. You get into the 3s and 4s, they're really profitable. This is run at 6.08, which is really, really high. Again, I just don't have any feel right yet what the market's what we're gonna do here the rest of the day. We gonna turn around and go short, or are we gonna go bounce up and go long? I don't know. Right now, it's just I just don't know which way it's gonna go. So I'm not likely to do any SPY super system trades until I get a feel for what I think the market is. You know, if it's gonna head down and back again, hit the VWAP of the 15 and head down, maybe that would be a good short. The problem is the IWM and the SPY both are right on support on the daily chart. The index that has the biggest downside potential to support is the Qs. Stephen, leave it on. Yeah, you're talking about the actual gear here. Yeah, I mean, I do like to be able to, when I get a color change, I can kind of judge how strong this is, because this is telling you that it's going up from above the 20, moving up above the 20, and then it goes green, it's above the 80. But if you look at it here, you can see what kind of a again, how steep the move is up, and the steeper it is, the better it is. Terry's making a recommendation for about that question on the size of the price action. Run 2 charts. Top chart can be price chart, and the bottom chart can show the lower studies. Yeah, which is a good idea. If you want, you can run 2 charts like that. TC2000 lets you have multiple charts. But that's one way to do it. I mean, I can see fine with what I've got right here. I like to see it all in one place. Shiv, can I explain the different significance of expanding Bollinger Bands? Does it signify momentum build? Well, it does signify momentum build. It also signifies a compression breakout. I mean, you can have momentum building when the Bollinger Bands are flat, both flat like that, just moving sideways. But typically, when the top band starts to curl up and the bottom band starts to curl down, that's a break of compression. It also shows momentum change. And as the bands come back down again and get closer together, then you're basically going into chop or compression. And I don't use them on my charts because I use the colored candles in my TC2000. If I get a green candle that's printing blue, that means I've got a Bollinger Band expansion. And if it's green and I don't have a Bollinger Band expansion, and on the bearish side, if the red candle is pink, then I have Bollinger Band expansion. So I don't have to. I used to have the Bollinger Bands on the chart, and I could watch them. But this way, with TC2000, lets me color code the candles when I have a compression break or a Bollinger Band expansion going on. For TC2000 data feeds, you need all three: real-time U.S. stocks, real-time U.S. options, and real-time U.S. indexes. I just use the stocks, but the indexes probably be useful as well. I think I actually do have all of them. I probably take it's 25 bucks a month for all of them. Does a $25 discount for making a trade eliminate the $24.99? $25 discount by making a trade. I don't know what you mean by $25 discount by making the trade. I wouldn't trade on TC2000. They trade in Interactive Brokers, and Interactive Brokers charges a commission, and then they add a commission on top of that. So I wouldn't trade on them. I just use them for charting, and I think I probably do pay the $24.99 a month. I don't even remember for the data feed. Q jumping quite a bit, Carl pointing out. Yeah, I mean we've got some pretty good momentum right here. You see, it's green, but this is one thing to understand. The momentum can be increasing here. It can be nice, but the stock prices don't have to be going up, and that sometimes confuses a lot of people. But it still tells you that you've got institutions buying this. It's just not pushing the price up. Generally, that means it's going to be a price bounce, but not necessarily. But that's what you're looking for. And Joe posted his TC2000 subscription in Discord. Thank you, Joe. That's over in the Discord room. Yeah, he's got it right there on the EDUQ on the Discord room. He's got a gold $2.99 a year, and you get the $14.99 data feed. Okay, cool. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that. Again, I've been using this thing for so long. I got it way back when they didn't have half of the options they got now. Actually was at a trade show in Las Vegas probably in 2009 or something, and they gave me a $10 trial on the thing, and I think I was sold on it ever since. They actually, at that point in time, they had 2-day training sessions for free in cities around the country that you could go to. Thanks for hosting that, Joe. Appreciate that. Joe wants to know if I remember the PCF days. That was how you did scans in PC2000. You actually created a PCF, which is you went in and put in the conditions that you were looking for in code, and it found them for you. Now you basically can just click on indexes in your chart, and you can go ahead and create all kinds of scans from that kind of information. It's really quick. Alright, just going to watch here for a bit. Again, we got nice green here, and again you can see the Laguerre is up here nicely. It isn't at 100, but it's above 80. But if it pulls back down, starts to head back down below 80, heading toward 20, it'll switch to yellow. But right now we're getting nice buying here in the triple Qs. IWM also doing the same. but still below the VWAP. Again, I'm not touching any of these indexes right now. Oil and gas reasonably strong today. Chip stocks, NVIDIA is still pretty weak, although it's bounced back up. This is NVIDIA right here. And again, I mean, this is an interesting stock. It's really been trading horribly since this is the earnings candle right here. And it's been really kind of trading horribly, but see, it went down to the 50 right here, the red line. Now this yellow line here is an algo line that I draw. Algo resistance and algo support. That's an algo support line. Right here, notice how it hit it back here, hit it here, and then I had that line on there, and it came down and touched it right there, and it bounced right off of it. These are fairly strong, and notice that it went down and touched it again this morning, and bouncing off of there. I'm not touching this stock, but that's just, it kind of shows you the support levels that these algo lines offer. They're really, really pretty strong. NVIDIA looks weak. AMD was downgraded. It looks terrible. SMCI is bouncing up here today above the 100, but who knows? ASML, another chip stock, finding resistance right at the 100. And Tesla, which I took and added to, is right in between these two support and resistance levels. And coin, which we took as a call debit spread on Friday, looking for this thing to continue on up to around 366, has got pummeled right down to the 8 and the 15. Again, this is a Bitcoin stock, so Bitcoin is really volatile. It's news driven, and this thing can go $30, $40 in a day easily on coin. Basically, all I'm doing right now is just looking at charts, trying to find some setups that I can use once I have a feel for which way the market's going to go. I do not right now. I mean, it was bearish this morning. It's kind of just compressing right now. Is it going to turn and continue act down again, or is it going to bounce up? Everybody has ideas on what it's going to do. I basically let the market tell me what it's going to do, and then trade off of that. I don't make assumptions about it. Nick, can the system on TOS be used on smaller time frames such as 3 minute or 1 minute? You know, I've never actually tried to do it on like a 1 minute time frame. Yeah, it works on 1 minute fine. I don't trade off of 1 minute, but you're getting the same information. I don't think the Compass system does it on every single time frame. 15 minute. Yeah, see, I don't think it does it. It doesn't do all the. It does the current time frame here, but I don't think it does multi-time frame on the 15 because there's so much calculations that go into this. When it's looking at multi-time frames, it's looking across 3 different time frames, and you have to the calculations get they just take up too much processing time. So I use it on the 5, and it does do work on the 1. It obviously works on the daily. 30 minute is the hour here. It doesn't work on the hour. And again, I'm just using it on the 5 and the daily. Those are the only things I use it for. IWM pulling back a little bit. Got pretty close to the VWAP, now pulling back a little bit, but still above the 15. SPY right there, coming up to the VWAP. Triple Qs, just moving sideways. A lot of sideways action here. So again, this is a good time for me just to sit back and relax, look for trades, run my scans, see what I can find, make notes on things that I'm interested in, and then just wait. Very pretty compressed market right now after this pullback this morning. Again, they know the SPY and the IWM came right down to support on the daily chart, compressing it there. Qs didn't really come down to any daily support. They're just compressing, really tight compression here. Coming up on lunchtime, and it's just market's really compressed. Again, no reason for me to dive into any of the trades right now. I'm just going to sit on what I've got. I'm going to hold coin. I'm not going to dump this thing, even though we're down on it pretty large. I don't even know what it's going for right now. Let me take a look. But I got it till Friday. Yeah, it's trading at about $1.50, but the spreads are not decently wide, not terribly wide. So it's trading at about $1.50 right now on coin. Now, if you're in straight calls on this thing, you'd probably be really hard pressed to stay in it. But I can stay in it with it using a debit spread that I put out on Friday. There's the Qs now coming off of here. Notice it's gone to back and forth. but now it's right here in yellow. You can see the lid here is moving down a little bit. So again, it's coming right off the 15 out of, this is a dynamic compression zone, the shaded area. So we're watching here, you may get a blue arrow here in a minute if we break down on the cues. There's the blue arrow in the SPY. Let's go with bearish again. But again, remember, we got the 8 exponential right down here on the daily chart. So if you take these are this is a SPY super system setup. But again, these are a little bit more speculative than you'd like because of this tight compression. See, it's right at the 15. Again, when you get a trend that you can follow, you're going to have much better results. Your losses are going to be minimal here because if it breaks down, if it pops up here and gets up above the 15 or up to the VWAP, you take your losses. They're going to be pretty small. But if you get a trending market, if you took a short here, this morning, which I didn't, but there was a couple of folks looked at it. This was actually a beautiful trend that you could follow. It stayed below the 15 the whole time. Now, there was a couple of things that might have shaken you out. See how this candle popped way up here? If you were in the trade right here on this big move up here to this level, you probably would take profits. You may not ridden it all the way down. Chinese stocks still very strong here today. Bob is up beautifully, 9%. JD, and these stocks have been trading horribly. JD up nicely here right now. Baidu up almost 10%, but sitting right at resistance at the 200-day moving average. Joe says you can change the multiplier to 2 and it'll work on more time frames. Okay, that's on on this compass system. Alejandro, would I, for this reversal trade, or wait for this SPY of the RWM to go above the VWAP? Yeah, I absolutely would. I mean, if you're trading off of the 15 here, and you're trading to the long side, your resistance is at the VWAP. You don't have enough room. First of all, you just don't have enough room on it. Same thing with the Qs right now off the 15 and the IWM off the 15. You have to keep an eye on your resistance levels, and on all of these right now, they're all at the 15 but below the VWAP. So your room to the upside is so tiny that it's not worth taking the trade. The risk reward's not worth it, in my opinion. Shy, Google waking up. Yep, it is trying to curl back up here again. It's got some decent room up to 178.6. It's got room to 182. The Chinese is off more stimulus. Yeah, they had the Chinese put more stimulus into the market over there, which is driving up all of the Chinese stocks. The FXI was up pretty big this morning. The Chinese large cap ETF. Right now it's up 9.5%. This is the FXI, which is the ETF on the Chinese stocks. Big gap up here, and you can see stocks like JD, which is Chinese, PDD, all gapping up pretty big this morning. Baba also, and Baidu as well, which is right at the 200-day moving average. Purple line right there, 200-day moving average. Big volume. See the volume on these things? Again, a lot of buying going in these Chinese stocks. Again, I'm just watching stocks here. I'm not trading anything right now except what I've already got on. I took Tesla. I added to it. Took a big drop on it this morning when I get in, so I was down money on that. I did add to it when it hit support and bounced off of it. We'll see if it actually holds. And I bought INOD for January. It's pulled back since I got into it. So most of the trades I put on this morning, well, only 2 of them are underwater, but I'm still going to hold them. And I did take 1 losing trade on the SPY Super System and 1 winning trade on the SPY Super System. And right now I'm just watching. This is just a bunch of compression right now. I'm going to take a break and get lunch here in about 10-12 minutes or so. And this is the kind of day when patience is very important. You can get antsy to try to take trades. Again, overtrading is a very big problem for most retail traders. They feel like they want to be in trades all the time. And right now, sitting on your hands is the best thing you can do. Wait for the markets to tell us if what it wants to do, if it's going to do anything today. I don't know. Right now, I'm looking for stocks to set up and potential longs, but I'm not taking anything right now other than what I took this morning. I'm just kind of watching. So patience is critical, and it's again really hard for traders to sit on the hands and not trade. And typically we'll trade SPY super systems if we can't take any other trades, but right now we can't even take those because the market just doesn't give us not giving us trades to take. Tesla right here is still just compressing like crazy. Very slow market now, very, very flat. CMCSA, yeah, Comcast. That came up on my my scan. It's really getting pounded here today on Comcast. Back below, it's down like 10%. I'm not going to chase it down here, but this is a Comcast candle today on the daily chart. You can see the huge sell-off from Comcast. Yeah, crap D1 is right. What was the resistance you had on McDonald's? 302 something? Let me see. I certainly don't remember. 302.26. 302.26 McDonald's resistance. Got to the high of 302.19. Got to be 7 cents away from that resistance. 302.06 right now. Pretty garbagey trading right now. Again, good time for me to take lunch here in a minute. Yeah, nothing to trade. SPY fighting to get to the VWAP, never got there. Now it's back below the 15 again. We've got yellow here now on the momentum indicator. Pretty tight price action though. See, the candles are still pretty small. Again, the SPY has still got the 8 down below it to support it. Qs don't have any support below right now. Very close. IWM has the 15 below it as support. So again, this is where they fell to this morning. There's going to be support down there if they drop down there again. So we'll see if it continues on down. Right now, this is just a bunch of chop. APP, again, it was William was talking about that. It went right down to the 15, bounced off of it. Still a pretty ugly candle so far today. It's trying to do a PBO. It's a pullback opportunity if it bounces. If it bounces. Alright, I'm going to take this opportunity to get some lunch, and we're just kind of chopping around here. Market pretty weak today, but been compressing here for about an hour and a half. So I'm not jumping on any of these. I'm just looking for some potential stocks if and when the market breaks one way or the other. So right now I'm just watching. Again, the SPY is it's got support down here right where the 8 exponential moving averages on the daily. And if I show you the SPY chart on the daily, here it is right here. This is why you've got to be aware of that on any kind of a short setup that you take. That you've got support here. And the IWM has got support at the 15 right here. But the Qs doesn't have any really nearby support. unless you're looking at the bottoms of the candles over here on last Wednesday or so, which is right about the 8. So, but that's down quite a ways on the SPY, on the Qs. So that's what I'm aware of. That's why I'm not really jumping into any of these SPYs, any of these SPY super system trades right now as the market compresses. Jonathan, you're welcome. Appreciate you being in the room. Thanks for coming into the YouTube feed. I'll try to do it every day around 11 o'clock or so for an hour or so. Everybody and YouTube have a great day, trading day. Come on back tomorrow. You can get introduced again to the SPY super system that we use and the software we use to let us know whether institutions are in trades or not. Makes a huge difference to trade only high probability trade setups. Again, we have about an 85 to 90% win rate month after month, and November was a really good month for us. The SPY super system as well does really excellent. It's an excellent trading methodology if you follow the criteria that I have set up, and I have a video on it, so it's worked really well. Again, big wins in November for both that and for the alert service in the room. So again, thanks for coming in. I'll try to do this on YouTube each day for an hour and a half or so. And so again, see everybody tomorrow. Good luck trading today.